So God does something very interesting in verse 10. Isaiah chapter 7 verse 10. Again, Yahweh spoke to Ahaz, right, through Isaiah. Ask for a sign from Yahweh your God. Let it be deep as Sheol, the underworld, or high as the sky vault. And Ahaz replies in verse 12, I will not ask. I will not put Yahweh to the test. Oh, that's great. Okay, why not? Well, because you're being humble, right? That's cultural humility. Maybe you might think that. This business of honor is always about making a public claim. Remember, honor is a public claim of where you fit in the pecking order of the village or the society, in this case the king. He has to be under the god of his fathers, his patron. So he can't put himself too high. You never want to overstep your honor, though. If you get invited to dinner, there's a place of honor. Maybe you deserve to be in that place, but you don't go there. You always step back two places. And Jesus in the Gospels gives a little very culturally important wisdom. He says, no, when you get invited to a banquet, don't take the place of honor. Sit back a couple pegs below your proper honor ranking, so that then the master of the festivity will come out and say, well, my friend, why are you sitting there? And in front of all the people, put you in the proper place. Okay, that's a great honor. So you have to read this in a Mediterranean way. So in this world, you honor yourself, you make the public claim, but you don't know if the public's going to receive it. They may deny it, and then you're an ass, you're a braggart, you're a fool. So what you want to do when you make the public claim, right, is you take a few steps back. You got to take a few steps back so that your patron, your better, your superior, who has more honor than you do, in this case it would be God, right, more than the king, will then say, no, my friend, you're going too low. Let me bring you up to a higher place. That's what you do. So you might be thinking that's what King Ahaz is doing. It's, oh, no, I'm not going to ask God. No, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. Well, you do see this sort of thing in the Gospels. When the rich young man, remember the story when the rich young man comes to see Jesus and he says, good teacher, right? Calls Jesus good. Good teacher. He's calling a lowly construction worker, village artisan from Nazareth, a day laborer, good teacher. Jesus replied, no, don't call me good. And you can almost picture it. The rich young man says, what do you say, master? No, sir. Oh, no, I'm so embarrassed, please. This is cultural humility. That's what this is, okay? And maybe you might think, going back to Isaiah chapter 7, verse 12, that's what we're reading here of King Ahaz of Judah. He's saying, I'm not going to ask for a sign because I don't deserve a sign. I won't put Yahweh to the test. That might be another example of cultural humility, but not really. Because given what we just read in 2 Kings, why isn't King Ahaz asking for a sign again? He thinks he has it covered, Eric, exactly. Ahaz already got Assyria to help him, and it's God's to help him. Why does he need stupid Yahweh? I mean, did Yahweh help him and his fathers when they took away the northern kingdom from him? Ahaz is like, look, I already took care of it, God. Thanks, but you're a little too late. Don't worry about it. I got this one. Wow, what an imbecile, right? This guy's really, he's stupid, okay? King Ahaz, that's what he's doing. He's playing around. So Isaiah 17, verse 13, then Isaiah said, listen, house of David, is it not enough that you weary human beings, that you must also weary my God? Is that a nice message? Or a blood-curdling message? So put into common English, hey, Davidic heir, is it not enough that you irritate human beings that you have to irritate my God? See, the prophets are rather vulgar. They're very crude, they're very earthy, and they're down to earth, like Jesus, which we're going to see later on. Isaiah 7, verse 14, therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin. Okay, the Hebrew word there is alma. Let's translate that word right, because it's got nothing to do with the condition of a hymen. Behold, a young woman of marriageable and childbearing age. That's what should be translated there. That's what the word alma means. A young woman of marriageable and childbearing age. What is a woman? What would that be in the Middle East? When should a woman get married?
12, 11.
When she starts having her menstrual cycle. That's when actually she's married earlier. When she's betrothed, she's married.
Right.
But when they live together, when the man claims her with his men and takes her to his father, the patriarchal compound, what we call marriage, right? That's actually, yeah, right, at that young age. Okay.
It could be, what, 12, 13?
Yeah, it happens to this day in the Middle East, in many parts of the world. A young woman of marriageable and childbearing age is pregnant and will bear a son, and you shall call his name Emmanuel. What we're doing here is giving you, what I'm doing here right now in this class is giving you all that your Bible's notes should tell you, but giving them to you in a culturally plausible manner. So you understand what's going on. I'm filling in the Shinola gaps. Are you familiar with hearing this passage differently? You've probably heard it like this. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a son. Behold, a virgin. But see, virgin has meanings that it's accrued over 2,000 years. A virgin shall conceive. That's what you're probably more familiar. In Hebrew, there are two words for virgin. One is alma, that's what's present here in this text, and the other is betulah. Betulah. Both mean virgin, but neither of them really has anything necessarily to do with the physical integrity of the hymen. In fact, virginity in the ancient world was not linked to physical integrity essentially as it is in our minds. So let's lose the word virgin because it doesn't belong there. Okay? Okay. The word alma is the one that Isaiah uses. Recall when we looked at the story of the servant of Abraham last week, searching for a bride for Isaac, back in Genesis chapter 24. You all remember that? Genesis 24:16, Rebekah, the young woman, was very beautiful, a betulah, a virgin untouched by man. Now listen, if it really meant, if virgin meant in the ancient world, untouched by man, then why the redundancy? Why do you have to then mention, oh, not only is she a virgin, but she's never been with a man? Because maybe in this world you could be a virgin and have already had children? You ever thought about that? Because see, it doesn't make sense in our world, because for us a virgin woman is a woman with an intact hymen that has never had relations and never had, no, but in this world, you have virgin mothers in this world. Did you know that? You see, whenever you move the language, you necessarily change the meaning.
And that's why Luke specifies that she didn't know.
Luke and Matthew both specify, in their own ways, that in addition to being a virgin, okay, a maiden of marriageable age, childbearing age, she also had never been with man. And because of our understanding and honoring Mary as the virgin over ages, it became eventually understood that virgin is synonymous with a woman who, or now even a male. You know, in the first century, you can't be a male and be a virgin. There is no such thing as male virginity. Only a woman can be a virgin. A woman is a title for a woman. In the first century, whenever you move the language, you necessarily change the meaning. As Marian devotion increased and our understanding saw her as an ideal of Christian chastity increased with it, then it just became universally used by Europeans and Western culture. The virgin means someone who has never had a physical condition, normal bodily disruptions haven't happened due to sexual relations, conjugal relations. Does this make sense? What's the problem with retrojecting that idea back into this ancient documents? You distort what they're saying. So continue. A virgin untouched by man, she went down to this, right, we read that. Okay, verse 16, verse 16 of chapter 24 of Genesis tells us that Rebekah was a virgin, okay, and the word used is betulah. And the very next phrase, untouched by man, is given just so that you know what we're talking about. Not only is she a virgin, but she's a virgin untouched by man. You see that? That would be redundant. If you and I wrote it in our time, just say virgin. That's enough, right? Because we mean somebody untouched, a woman untouched by man. Isaiah does not use the word betulah, though. He uses a different word. He uses the word alma.